Daksh,
Sean.
Daksh,
Sean.
we have something that we have to sort. A question. The age-old question. What's more important? What's better? Creative or performance?
Any day. Performance.
Creative.
Performance.
Creative.
Bro, I'm telling you, it is performance.
So I am telling you. Creative. Welcome to a conversation between a creative marketer and a performance marketer. Today we are going to be answering a few questions from you. Hopefully these questions are going to help you in taking the right decision in the world of marketing. But let's see where we go. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Sean. I am a trainer here at IIDE, and I am here to help you guys understand creative marketing because I am a content creation specialist. I specialize in video production and a lot more. And this is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Doug Juneja, and I've been part of digital marketing since over 16 years now. And over and above this, I've also been a senior trainer at IIDE. The topics I love to train is Google Ads, email, e-commerce, and much more. But today, I'm very eager to have this conversation with Sean about creative marketers and performance marketers. So let's get started.
Okay, but before we get started, let's set the context a little bit. We already know what is performance marketing and what is creative marketing, but there are a lot of people out there who don't really. So let's take a second to explain what is creative and performance marketing. Let me begin. So honestly speaking, creative marketing is the entire world of video, graphic design, writing creatively, and thinking about creativity and putting it all, wrapping it all into a beautiful campaign. So this is creative marketing, but what is performance marketing?
Performance marketing is basically when you have spends, when you have a campaign and you want to run it on platforms which are very popularly like Meta, it could be Google, or it could be Twitter or LinkedIn, and you have ads budget and you want to get the best out of that audience which is not already there in your fan base. As simple as that.
That is absolutely awesome. And I feel like this energy, this synergy is basically what makes the entire world of marketing happen. So guys, let's get started.
Okay, I really love this question. What do you think as a personality trait that defines you as a creative marketer?
Awesome. I'm so glad you asked this question because I have many thoughts that I can give on this, but I'll round it down to two. So for me, as a creative marketer, I feel like one trait that really explains and informs my work is the fact that I'm chaotic. I would generally use my left hand to drink my coffee. I use my left hand on the mouse when I am an editor, but I'm a righty. So that is again, which really throws a lot of people off. Another thing is also the fact that I never wear socks of the same color. I will always wear left and right different colors, except today for some reason. Today, I felt like chaotic, so I'm wearing socks of the same color. The whole idea is for me, when I feel this little bit of imbalance, a little bit of chaos, it helps me to think a little bit more creatively. It helps me in communicating with the brand, connecting with doing things differently and breaking a rut. So that is one of it. The second one is I am a collector. I love collecting weird stuff. I collect boxes, I collect technology, I collect old retro stuff. And I collect this stuff because it's not only interesting, like come on, let's be honest, like who wouldn't want to collect old cameras, okay? And who wouldn't want to collect old Apple products? But I also collect some absolute garbage like cases and boxes and product boxes that are like super old. And I use this as references. I use this as design references when I'm designing. I use this as creative references when I am trying to visualize a new approach for a brand. For example, when I was working for a fashion brand, I used an actual Polaroid camera, the thing that defined the Instagram logo. I used that as a prop for a shoot, the old logo. And that is basically how I use it to inform my creativity.
Perfect. Nice. So just to add on something to that, I think this will be really fascinating. I'll share a pic with you. I have a 45-year-old typewriter with me, a working typewriter with me.
That's absolutely awesome.
We have a lot of things in common.
I think that's the go-to at the end of the day. There's not a lot of difference between hardcore creative and hardcore performance marketers. We are the same.
Perfect. So the next question is, I want to bridge this gap between the creative side and the performance. I just want to ask you, what kind of a performance element that you would consider having inboard when you're thinking about creativity?
Okay, so I'll be super honest. There's a lot of performance marketing that you have to consider when you are in the creative sector. A lot of times, creative can be a little crazy, creative can be a little chaotic, creative can be very moody. But what I would also consider is setting patterns. I would consider setting schedules. I would consider setting KPIs as super crucial inside a creative side. Creative people often have moments where they are blank. They often have moments where they are not able to get into the flow. So what I would suggest now is, as a creative, using performance ideas like setting KPIs, using performance ideas like organizing yourself in a way that you have all your creative stuff done in one day, like all your shoots done in one day, or all your edits done in one day, or all your learning done in one day. You're literally setting that entire day to flow through with just that one kind of idea. And that is something I've learned from performance. And honestly speaking, that is something I really feel every creative marketer out there should implement. The thought process of how do you use a performance approach to be more creative.
So, Sean, you mentioned something about having a creative blog, and I think a lot of creative people have that. Thankfully, in performance, we don't have, because we rely on dashboards. Like if a Google ad dashboard go down right now, we are done. So I don't think we come across this issue as a blockade anywhere. But when it comes to creativity, I've noticed this with a lot of people. They have a creative block and they're like, we have no ideas right now, and we have a deadline coming, and we need to submit something tomorrow at say 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. What do you have to say to those kind of people?
Now, I'll say if in a situation where you are having a creative block, like, one day before the actual submission, it was nice knowing you. You have my absolute sympathy.
That's not helping.
But, okay, but for all the creative marketers out there, I'll be like super honest, okay? There are two ways that I approach this. The first way is, if I have some time now, I regroup. I let myself rest. I let me inspire myself by different kind of content, by just consuming something else and getting my head out of that space where I'm constantly trying to get the next step of my creative flow. That is basically what is blocking it. That is one approach. Okay, literally do something else. Go watch an anime. Go sit down and listen to your rock music for about 1 hour. Go outside and take a walk. Okay, and when I'm saying take a walk, I mean like actually go for like a long, like 5-kilometer walk. It actually opens up your thought process in ways that you can't even imagine. And another approach would be, this is again, if you are a bit on a deadline, I would say do things in a flow. Okay, like try to build your flow by doing more of something. For example, if you are sitting down to get an article, just start writing gibberish. If you are a designer, just throwing stuff on a canvas together. Okay, I have actually seen this work. And though a lot of times, like about 80% of times it works, there are the 20% moments where you're just not inspired. Okay, in a situation like that, take a break. But for 80% of the people who are out there and who are facing a creative block, I would say just do something. Just like actually get yourself into the process of doing some absolute garbage. Because honestly speaking, the creative block often comes because we are not able to think of the perfect way to go ahead. Whereas when we just take the next step and just do something, even if it is like absolute, like doesn't make sense at all, you find the way.
I think this is coming from a lot of personal
Honestly,
experience.
Absolute personal experience.
So I want to know, what gibberish did you write? Where was the challenge and how did you solve it? Let's talk about this.
So I also do a lot of graphic design. Okay. So when I was into graphic design, I had to make an envelope, okay, for a brand. All right. And the whole idea was they wanted it to be text heavy. All right. But that was the approach that they wanted. And I was not really getting how to design it. And I just said, I'm going to make this absolute garbage right now. I started flooding it with different fonts, different ideas, different sizes, different colors. And oddly enough, at the end of 1 hour, that actually started looking good because I was experimenting, I was playing around. It was not the approach I was going for. But that crazy appeal, that crazy style of doing something actually got me to a design that I was so proud of at the end. And the company not only accepted, they loved it. I think they're still using it today.
Wow.
Okay, so now it's time for the turns to the tables. I hope you guys understood the joke. So the question is basically, as a performance marketer, what creative traits would you like to use in your approach to performance marketing?
So again, here with performance marketing is actually the last part of this whole section. So I believe there are like 2 more sections that come before this, which I really need a lot of creativity in. Actually, both of them only happens with creativity, if you realize. So the first is understanding your audience. Whom are you out there targeting? If you have a product, for example, if I just want to talk about selling this mug right now, who is the target audience who would be interested in buying this? So if you can define, right, as simple as putting, say, the demographics to it, the psychographics to it, and you can just list down these traits about them now. This will help you at the next level. Now the second level would be creating and adding this audience out there on a simple dashboard, right? The moment you do this, you are able to have the imagery that you want to do, the creativity. So in our way, it would be having or adding more images, having more videos, GIFs. It could be so many levels to this. Once you have your audience defined, the second part is having the creativity, the ads, images, GIFs. Then comes finally the performance marketing. You're executing this ad out there to this audience. So as a matter of fact, our job doesn't begin till creativity doesn't happen. Sean, just want to know one thing. As a creative marketer, how do you keep yourself inspired on a daily basis?
Oh, that's honestly a kick-ass question. And okay, now this answer goes out to everybody over here and everybody watching as well. So, as a creative marketer, I believe that there are two things that I should absolutely do. The first one is I consume content. I consume a lot of content. That means a lot of movies. I'm constantly on Instagram, okay? I'm constantly on YouTube. And I am consuming more content than I feel is healthy sometimes. And honestly speaking, if you consume content on a regular basis, now you'll find yourself as an amalgamation of all of that. For example, my speaking style is a combination of Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon. And that is honestly speaking one of the ways that I communicate. But I am looking at those guys as inspiration for my work. And when I do that, that becomes like a Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon teacher. Okay, so again, this is the second part of the question. How is it that we can get inspired? And honestly, this answer a lot of people are going to be like really confused by. It is copy. And literally copy from brands, copy from people, copy from different kind of companies that do something interesting. And I'll tell you, the whole idea about copying is a lot of people don't realize that it's not the fact that you have to copy directly and exactly. No. As a creative marketer, as a creator, you need to build your work by also looking at inspiration. Copy, but add your flair, add your personality, add your idea, add everything that you can. Honestly speaking, there's nothing original under the sun. Every romantic movie goes back to Romeo and Juliet. And when you take a deeper look at any technology company, they are honestly copying each other. And it has been happening over the past decade. But let me tell you an interesting story, okay, that talks about where copying actually changed the industry. For all of us who actually know about Xerox PARC, you know that Apple, the company that we love so much, actually copied the idea of the mouse. Apple is one of the first companies that created the mouse, but not really. It was Xerox. Xerox created the mouse. Xerox created the GUI, graphical user interface, that we use on a regular basis today. Back in the day, it was just code. But today, we have GUI, a graphical user interface, because Xerox made it and Apple copied it. The whole idea is, if you don't copy, you don't add your own jazz to it, you don't add your own energy to it, you don't add your own personality to it, you spend a lot of time just thinking. And you may not really come up with a great idea. But when you are copying and you are building something entirely different, you are creating a totally new product, an amalgamation of everything that you have experienced. And honestly speaking, copying is the way a lot of great artists create their art. For instance, Pablo Picasso says, good artists copy, great artists steal.
Wow. So all this transition from copy, we are now going into steal. Perfect.
Hell yeah!
I have one more follow-on question. You mentioned that for all the viewers, that do follow brands and see what they're doing and get inspired by a lot of brands. Can you name a few international brands for us, or even local brands that you get inspired? So I'm getting into your bookmarks now. Let's see how many you can share with us and let the viewers know, what would be the brands that they should follow, who kind of brands who don't do it like one-off, like there's no like one big campaign they do in a year, or jab IPL aayega tab hum karenge, not like that, but someone who's been there consistently doing this maybe since eons.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll maybe not about just brands that have been doing this for years, but also some brands that are brands and people who are honestly doing it recently and who have been doing it just like an insane job. I'll say there's a magazine that I've been following for close to a decade right now. Guys, go and follow them on Facebook, go and follow them on Instagram. They're absolutely awesome. They're called Creative Gaga. And as a person who loves graphic design, as a person who loves design as a whole, I have never seen another magazine so beautiful, so genuine, so creative. And I don't believe they copy, but I believe that they get inspired by the different the different cultures around them. Again, that's one brand. Another person I want to introduce everybody to is Monkey Magic. And this guy's an Indian guy. He's a YouTuber and he's honestly traveling around India and showing the beauty of India in shorts, telling their stories in shorts of all the different places he's visited, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. He's explored and he's seen it all. Alright, so for the third person that I want everybody to be inspired by, I would say it's Matt Diavella. Being a person who loves hoarding, I also love putting my stuff in order, and there's nobody better than the minimalist himself. Now he's a filmmaker, and the kind of content that he creates, the kind of ideas that he shows, the kind of inspiration that he is in the world of filmmaking, in the world of content, in the world of color, in the world of bringing out your personality on the screen, he is generally one of the people I feel everybody should follow, because his ideas, ideology and style is something I feel everybody can benefit from. Matt Diavella is one of the persons you should absolutely copy. So go out there and copy Matt Diavella if you should. Yeah.
So personally, I'm not following any of these three. So the first thing I'm going to do is start following this and hopefully become a creative person myself. Thanks so much for sharing these.
Anytime.
Alright, just to add on to Sean, what you are talking about, let me also share a few, go-to places for me when it comes to performance marketer. How do you upscale yourself, or how do you look at being up to date on what's happening in this space? There are so many websites that you can follow, but I just want to stick to a few things that you need to take care of. One is you need to be abreast on what's happening in the Google world, in the Meta world. For that, you can easily go to a website called as searchenginejournal.com, or you can also check out socialmediaexaminer.com. But the twist is, that is something what's happening in the universe of this in terms of newsy based content that you'll be getting. Now, what you also want to do is try to analyze and understand what's happening with your competitors. So keep track of that. You can actually look at a lot of things that are happening on Facebook's ads library. Then Google has recently started, I don't know, did you know about this? That Google has also started somewhere that because of data privacy, that you can actually see what your competitors are doing in today's time. So Google Ads, your competitor, think about it, your brand, and then you can define your competitors. It could be A, B, C. If they are running ads today on Google, or they've run some ads in the recent past, you can actually see what kind of image-based ads they've done, what kind of search ads or text ads that they've run, and also including video-based ads.
That's absolutely insane. I honestly had no idea about this. And honestly speaking, this is just one more place that I can copy from. So, hey, hell yeah.
It's a win-win both ways.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me ask the question right now. I want to know, so as a performance marketer who is just beginning, what would you suggest? What route should I take? Should I go the agency route, or should I go the brand route?
Alright, that's a very interesting take. And I think the way you're sharing this, I hear a lot of students coming and asking me this question at the same time. So I see a lot of students, the same question I ask them a lot is, imagine this scenario. Do you want to work with a particular industry, or do you want to work with a particular agency which is handling a lot of those kind of clients of your liking? So imagine the scenario, if you have an agency who works with a lot of entertainment clients, it could be Sony, Disney, Viacom, Fox, that is the kind of take you want to do. So agency is the way to go. But at the same time, if you're looking at the brand side, then the brand is basically, say, for example, like I'll take a student's example, Anushka. She wanted to only get into the beauty industry. So for her, it would be Nykaa, Sugar Cosmetics, and that's the way to go. So at the same way, if you realize, both of them have their own pros, and it just depends on the student to student what they are looking for. You just need to find your direction or your interest liking.
Awesome, awesome.
Sean, but this is just my take. So even you're being part of the industry from so many years. So what is your input on this? What do you suggest students when you're in the classes and looking at, they asking you, like, should we be in the brand side or should we be more skewed towards the agency level?
Okay, so my answer is kind of different for the world of creative, because honestly speaking, I do feel like you have to take the path that is best suited for you, either the line of the agency or the line of the brand. But on the creator side, I feel you need to also consider what you get faster, how you get into the field and actually start working. So at the end of the day, I feel a creative person should just get out there, should just go and start working on whatever they feel is the best path possible. Find a job fast and start working. Get more projects, get more ideas, even consider freelancing if you can, and create. So if you can do that in the agency line, that's the way. If you immediately get a job in the brand, that's the way. or if you're getting clients right out of the bat, that's the way.
I think the best takeaway from this is that you are also not skewed towards agency, you're not even skewed towards a brand, similar to my experiences. And I think if you're not getting any of this, for a student, the best thing is just go out there, taking a cue from what you just shared, and freelance. Try to get some clients on your own, try to get out there and get those industry brands or agencies yourself.
Yes, and make your mistakes, because honestly speaking, not a lot of us get a lot of time to make mistakes. When you're starting your journey, make a few mistakes, hopefully not like really expensive ones, but make your mistakes, go out there and just do something fun. And I guess this is the best time. Find something that you're doing and get started. Whether it's at the agency, whether it's at the brand, doesn't really matter. Get started.
I think the podcast title only should be this: Digital Marketing, Make Mistakes.
Yeah. So we have a question that's also, I feel like we got to talk about. Honestly, when you're talking about creative marketing and performance marketing, there are some of us, some students specifically, who are confused that I do not know what to take. And there are some of us who are like, I want to do both. So what kind of an approach should they look at?
If they're like multi-talented, I think just try to be jack of all, maybe master of one, but try to be jack of all trades. Because like I was sharing earlier, what we're looking at is a lot of times you need to understand the essence of your client. What is the client looking for? For example, if the client is coming and asking you, I want specific creatives to be made for my social media Instagram page, and you want to later on, you want to create ads for the same. So there you need, a little balance of both. So one more take that I have for this is like, this is probably something that has been part of my journey. I was skewed more towards performance marketing. Maybe that was my interest, but that never made me shy away from learning a little bit about creativity, because I need that. I need that a very integral part of my performance ads. Like I was sharing earlier, we need ads to happen. It is more visual in today's time. As a matter of fact, we know it is more videos right now. So if the videos don't come out great, nothing can happen in the performance side. So it actually is a mirror image for each other.
Honestly, I can say that that's absolutely true. And I can take that same answer and, just add a little bit more of my thought perspective to it as well.
Would love to.
Because what you're talking about now is something I also agree with completely. All of us, every single one of us has a brain, hopefully. And we have a left brain and a right brain. The left brain being more analytical, the right brain being a little bit more creative. So again, all of us can do both. But it's just that which side is more dominant. Some of us who are a little bit more creative are more right brain dominant. Some of us a little bit more on the analytical side, we are left brain dominant. So from that point of view, I would honestly consider do both. But at the same time, know what is your strength and do a little bit more of that. Like I am a little bit more creative, just a little bit more creative, and I would spend all my time, like 60% of it, of the energy, on creative marketing and about 40% of it on the logical side of it. So that is definitely one approach you can take, that I feel like, if you're doing both, know how to balance it off. Spend a little bit more on analytical or spend a little bit more time on creative based on who you are. Let your personality define your marketing approach. You don't necessarily have to be this or this. Why not both? Okay, so I gotta ask, what are the skill sets necessary to get started in the world of marketing, whether it's performance or creative?
Right. So I think creative, I'm going to leave to your expertise, right? Right brain side of things. When it comes to the performance side, as a skill set, what you like to do is just prep yourself with, spending a little bit on your own. You have your own Instagram channel or a YouTube channel. You have an Instagram page. What you're looking at is going there, dive into the dashboard. Just try to understand as much as is there. I don't want you to be an expert. I know that you don't have that kind of know-how yet, but the moment you'll experiment, you'll make mistakes. And the moment you make those mistakes, you'll be able to rectify it in the next set of ads that you'll be creating. It could be on Instagram ads, it could be Twitter ads. The dashboards are very simple to understand. Maybe there'll be some jargons there that you'll not be able to grasp so easily, but the moment you'll start your own ads, that's the ideal way that you should do. And the beauty is, when I say have some spends or something, I'm not saying you need to have like an agency spend like a few lakhs or crores. You can just start with maybe as minimalistic as spending $1 per day budget. That's all. On the creative side, do you have some jugaad like this that we can take away?
I think I honestly do. And I'll be honest over here. This is a skill set. This is something that I feel like every creative marketer needs to have. It's not just about if you're a beginner or if you've had 10 or 20 or 50 years of experience in this. I feel as a creative marketer, you need to be thick-skinned. You need to create content and just forget. Do not like, worry about is it doing well, is it not doing well. Your job is to just go out there and create and create and create and create. The whole idea being people will judge you no matter how good or how bad your content is. The first ad by Apple, like on a Super Bowl, was criticized by the board of directors. But honestly speaking, that was like, it's considered one of the most iconic ads of all time. And speaking about that, why is it that we judge our ads and we judge our creative and we judge all that so much when today we are living in a world where people are literally like literally spending the entire day like zombies on the phone? And if we provide them value, it's only for a few seconds. If they come back to us, that shows that okay, there's something ahead. So just have thick skin and just create more. I feel like one of the skills that every creative person needs to have is to not be afraid of technology. Catch any software, okay, whether if it's on your phone or if it's on your laptop. Canva, for instance, whether it's on your phone, it's on your laptop, or even a VN editor if you're a video editor. Try using these, get used to them, spend more time and try to, again, copy others. Spend your time in learning these skills, learning the ability, developing your ability to create content based on somebody else's thought process, based on your own likes and dislikes, and just put stuff out there. Honestly speaking, that's the best way to go ahead.
And what about the comments that are going to come after that?
For something like that, I would just say, like, you learn to be thick-skinned. Learn to not worry about anybody else out there, okay? Just spend your time creating and do not worry about what anybody says. As a creator, you need to be just forgetful when it comes to, people's comments. So forget that.
And if you're making something to create and you have a theme in mind, like you're making a travel log or you're making something on, say, your favorite hobby, ensure that you're running ads on it.
Okay, so one honest personal question coming from me, super creative question. So at what point did you know that performance is your future? Performance is the way to go ahead for you in the world of marketing.
Right. So, this question itself is taking me way back, because when I started out my journey in 2007, 2008, even Facebook ads had not come. As a matter of fact, even Facebook had not come in India yet. It came in like early 2008 and we started in 2007. So jumping to now, which was that turning point for me where we were working with this brand called Enroll Mall, and this was a part for Facebook ads itself purely, where we reached out to the client and we said we want like X amount of budgets and we want to run ads for you. And we asked them, what is your objective? What are you looking at? They're like, we want to increase our likes. Just to give you an FYI here, I was the first person who liked Facebook page of Enroll Mall. And why is this important to know? Not that part. The part was like within the next less than 2 years, that is in a journey of like 2011, 2012, we were able to take them to the largest fan base on Facebook for any mall in the world, which includes Dubai Mall, Mall of America, which is like not even our competition.
That's just insane.
And in this journey, we were able to launch like 2 in Orbit Mall. So we got a lot of more geographically increase. That was like in Orbit Mall Pune happened, in Orbit Mall Whitefield, Bangalore happened with us. So the KPI, like you mentioned about KPIs earlier. So the KPI where this triggered when we went to a analysis reporting, meeting with the client came back and told us, you're spending less than a rupee per like that you're getting on Facebook. And they're like, agar main X amount aapko do, so can you reach these many likes in this much time? And we were like, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, fine, let's do that. So their analysis was very simple. If international mall or any other local mall was at this many likes, can you do these many more? And we were just touching those thresholds like, week on week, month on month. And the meetings were like another level for us. So coming to you, the same question. What was your turning point when you thought, yaar, creativity mein jana hai. Creative is the space that I want to go into. Or maybe it was a little twist. Creativity is for me. I'm going to prove myself to the world or to the universe. So just switching the question a bit for you.
Absolutely. So I was thinking about this answer while you were talking as well. And honestly speaking, I was like, okay, first 2015, 2014, no, 2013, no, 2008, 2009. And then I was like, okay, what is the turning point for me? Like,
because chronology samjhiye bas aur kuch nahi.
Absolutely, because for me this was where I actually went back to my college days. Okay, so it was about 2009, all right, and I was in my first year of college, and absolutely new experience for me. I didn't get into engineering, the best thing that happened to me ever, and it was a new experience. talking to the world of media, talking in the world of media, talking about the world of media. And crazily, I really wanted to impress somebody. I really wanted to impress somebody, and second year person. And generally speaking, I was the guy who everybody would go to, like, okay, technical issue, what would you do? Do this, do this, do this. And I got a request. If you had, how would you make a banner on Photoshop? And I was like, I think you should do this, 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 this. And I had no idea back in the day. I just like shot, like, okay, this is what you could do. And oddly speaking, that is how it began. And then the request came, can you do it for me? And I'm being a first year student making a project for a second year student. And that is where it all began. And my love for creativity started at that point of time. And interestingly enough, that got me into video production. That got me into graphic design.
And a date as well.
And unfortunately not a date, but that did help me in the future, the date side.
You can mention the name to us. We can always tag her. We are fine with it.
Hey, if you know who you are, you know who you are. So that is my journey and how it began in college, and how one person got me started on my journey being a creative marketer.
फिर क्या हम एक ही चीज पे आ रहे हैं वापस कि what are we looking at? Should we focus or skew towards more creative side, or should we look at more on the performance side? So coming to the creative side, again, the right brain, your expertise, what would you like to share with all the students?
Honestly, I would like to say, no, go where your heart is. Look at what are the things that you really want to do. Look at the things that you're really good at. Look at the thing that you don't mind spending your time on. Because honestly speaking, a lot of people are worried about the fact that, I'm going to earn so much more money in performance, or I'm not going to be earning any money in creative, or vice versa. At the end of the day, you're going to be earning based on what you do, how good you are, and how much you enjoy your job. Because you need to consider one thing. In the world of marketing, you may earn a lot more being a average performance marketer as compared to being a crappy creative marketer. And the other way around also. You will earn a lot more if you are a good or a average creative marketer, but earn like nothing if you're like a horrible performance marketer. So it entirely depends upon what is it that you do, what you spend most time on, what skills you develop, what need can you create in the market, and how can you create the want for you. So honestly speaking, just follow what you love.
No, I think 100%, I agree with you. And it is all about your passion. Where is your passion taking you? And then if you're into that passion, this is what I share with students as well. The moment they come and approach me and they're like, sir, I feel I'm good at both. I'm like, wow, you're good at both? That's amazing. So if you're good at both, you have to choose one. Unfortunately, it's like a tryout. You can't have both. Unless you want to spend 12 hours doing performance marketing and 12 hours and never sleep at all. So if that's the case, if you're, superhuman, you're a superhero, then you can try that. But I think that's not realistic. So, one thing I always share with students is try to find where you're most skewed towards when it comes to being passionate, and something that you feel, when you close your eyes and just think, like, if you take one thing, it could be the creative side, it could be performance, either way, and you can see yourself doing that same thing, up till the next 5 years at least. I think that's the, trigger point. कि क्या मैं आंख बंद करके बोल सकता कि हाँ, अगर मैंने ये चूज़ किया तो मैं ये ही करूँगा या करूँगी for the next 5 years without any hindrance, come what may, what's happening in the world right now. You don't change your direction. And I think that should be the essence. And adding on to, yes, what you just mentioned, that, stick to your passion, because this passion will answer your 5-year-old horizon, and you will stick to this and, just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. There's no looking back then.
200%. So I think this is the first time a creative marketer and a performance marketer are literally on the same page. So honestly speaking, yeah.
We're just trying to bridge the gap here.
Absolutely.
Sean, I'm sure you must have heard of this term so many times, being in marketing, just like me. Email is dead. So I just want to take this and, I'm just seeing this new aspect coming. Will creativity also die? Email never died, for sure. Email was there. Business emails happen on a regular basis, maybe a few millions, if not less. So this was all a term, maybe a little gimmicky, I guess. But AI feels like, for me personally, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, AI seems like a very different ballgame altogether. AI with creativity seems I can just talk, have a conversation with the robot out there, if I may say, in the layman terms. So will creativity in terms of there also maybe die? There will be no human touch or element anymore to it. What is your thoughts on this?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts on this. And honestly speaking, I can say I don't believe creativity will die, because we've been saying this for a lot of times. Somebody told me a while ago, I think graphic design is dead. Canva is going to change the entire game. People with Canva today are still making like horrible designs. We see it on a regular basis. And it's all about the creativity in the world. Creativity is always going to be there. And Chat GPT, or there's this another one for graphic design, I can't quite, DALI. I don't think they're going to change the game per se. They're going to make creativity a little bit more reachable to everybody. People who are not inclined to creativity at all can just say, hey Chat GPT, make me a flying astronaut in the sky, and then it will definitely do that. And we can definitely make ads out of that in the future, but then you will still need somebody to do the touch up. You'll still need somebody to make a few changes. You still need somebody to think about the idea. AI is getting closer and closer and closer to, being fully autonomous. I feel it's just going to be a tool to help people like you and me become better marketers. So I don't think it's going to replace us. I just think it's going to be it's going to enhance our abilities. It's going to be like an extra limb from all it.
So I love this point, the replace point, because I read recently one thing about AI. I can see a lot of Insta reels about this. I see articles about this. Is this going to replace a very, renowned name called Google? Is it going to replace Google? Is my next question to you.
I really hope not, because Google has its place. I honestly personally do not feel it's going to replace Google, but I feel it may be a good alternate to help us research, to help us understand, to help us communicate.
Google was not ever able to have a conversation. It can just provide information. I feel Google is more knowledge worthy, but I think AI is a conversation worthy. So I think, is that conversation worthy actually more important than having that right knowledge?
Yeah. I do feel that's the case, but I feel Google gives you that in the Google Assistant. The Google Assistant, again, is not AI. It's not that same process. It's not built that way. But I feel if Google wants, Google can put a similar approach where it's putting the millions of data points onto something like the Google interface, onto Alexa, onto Siri in the future. And all these companies can actually take AI and shoot it from that point of view. So ChatGPT or DALI, they are definitely the next stage, but I do feel Google may copy them. I do feel Google may step up its game in the near future, just in case they want to put their foot forward in the whole AI conversationalist, AI approach, if they are actually feeling that they're going to be replaced.
Especially freshers who want to get into creative professionals. They want to know, will ChatGPT or something on the AI space, or chat AI, will it be an aid or will it be a bane for them? So what's your thoughts on this?
This is something I really would like to talk about, because when you look at the world and where the world is going today, in the far future, definitely it's going to be a tool everybody should use, everybody should consider using. But I feel today, it's still a beta. It's still a version that is not complete. And at the end of the day, it may give you a product, it may not give you a product. It's up to you to decide whether it's a viable answer to the problem that you have, or it's just gibberish. Because honestly speaking, a lot of ChatGPT can actually be used in life today. A lot of ChatGPT can actually be used in marketing. But you have to be the one to see whether that quality is exactly what you want, slightly less than what you want, or not even close to what you want. So I'm going to leave this to the audience. I want to know, what is your opinion, everybody out there? What do you think about ChatGPT? What do you think about AI? We've given our opinions, but at the end of the day, you are the one who's going to be making the decision.